everybody else getting warmed up. We just kind of sat there quietly and just, I don't know if we said a whole lot to each other. Um, I think it was just kind of like, well, sat and dwelled on it for a while. I'm like, well, you got another match coming up, so let's get going, And I think I probably shed a few tears, and I still remember Chet's face, and it just, I don't know, just losing that match and not getting the finals and having the possibility of winning it all. It drives me nuts to this day. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I said, I can still just, I remember just me and Chet just sitting there, just quietly, didn't even say anything. Everybody else was chaos all around us, and
Right.
I don't know, it's kind of like one of those movie type things where everything just seems to be spinning and whatnot, and
Right.
you were just kind of, but then we both just kind of looked at each other, and, well, let's come back and do the best we can.
It's hard to find kids like Andrew Rodas nowadays. He participated in 4 sports in high school, specifically excelling at football and wrestling. He's a 3 time state qualifier and 2 time place winner for MFL Marmac. He went on to play both football and wrestle at Southwest Minnesota State University before focusing solely on wrestling after a sophomore year. I'm also proud to call him my friend. I'm Kelby Bachman, and this is Let's Talk Wrestling. In the heart of West Union, Iowa, lies a hidden gem in Euphoria Coffee. Owned by local residents Nicole and Shane Havenstreit, they source everything they can from local vendors. From hot and iced drinks, to savory breakfast burritos, to baked goods, to botany tea, and even homemade waffles, Euphoria Coffee is a place your entire family can enjoy. You can find more information at drinkeuphoria.coffee2go.com or visit their Facebook page. And we also have a special gift just for you. Next time you stop in, you can get a free baked good with a $20 purchase. Just mention the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Euphoria Coffee. Our purpose is deeper than coffee. Did you volunteer at all this year with Bondurant Farrar? I know you were doing that before. I don't know if you hop in there now
No,
and then.
I haven't since probably, I think it was right around COVID time when I kind of got out of it, and then I've had 3 kids since then. So, uh, I definitely want to get back into it for sure. I
Really?
mean, yeah, I just a little bit that I did. I mean, I might see if I can just come in and maybe a little bit of freestyle wrestling stuff, just kind
There
of
you go.
part time, unpaid stuff like that, just so I don't feel
Yeah.
obligated. And yeah, I've talked to Beth about it, and but it's kind of cool that girls wrestling's exploded the last few
Yeah.
years, and I have 3 girls myself. I don't Probably too early to tell if they're all going to wrestle or not, but I would say Charlotte, her middle child, she's definitely got that kind of build and mindset already. So,
Yeah.
I mean, by the time she could walk or stand, she was already like giving me single legs. So,
Seriously.
yeah, it's kind of funny because we'll laying on the ground or whatever, and I'll tickle her on her like her stomach, and she like wraps her legs around me and like sucks my arm in. So like I feel like I didn't even teach her that. She just knows
Yeah.
like how to control arms and legs and stuff.
Hmm.
So all right,
Yeah.
this could be a good start. Ellie,
Okay.
I think our oldest, she's probably more into like dance, cheerleading type stuff. Just I mean, kind of like Beth
Mhm.
was. So
Yeah. Yeah.
which is fine. Which is fine.
Yeah. I forget.
I mean,
Did you do a lot of freestyle? You know, I mean, I know we had the Mississippi freestyle, but like, were you heavily involved and go to a lot of tournaments for that?
I know we had practice. I think it was like Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Yeah.
But it was also trying to like balance track and baseball starting all around that time too. So yeah, I'd go up to practices like, and then try to hit tournaments about every weekend if they were somewhat close. I think West Delaware, Independence, Decorah.
Yeah.
Just some closer ones. We didn't go like super far.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was going in my freshman year. When it was 2004, 2005. Went to like Greco State and stuff to qualify for Fargo.
Really? So you were going to? Did you qualify?
Yeah, actually, I think it took second or third, I think I want to say. I don't know. It was many years ago, but I was
Yeah.
on the team. I was actually wearing the team sweatshirt the other day. I still have it. I
No
we got
kidding.
to wear it at the gym. Yeah.
Dang.
So that was like same year me and Mitchell Schultz went. Josh Hunt. Um, I
Did
think
Brian?
Trevor Hayhall qualified for a couple. Brian didn't go that year. I don't think.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I think it
Did
was like junior, like last junior, and I think he was senioritis and everything like that. So
yeah. Yeah.
I
Did you
know.
go to
No,
Fargo then?
yeah, I wrestled in Fargo.
Wow.
Like I said, it was Greco, and it was like right after a year. Obviously, I don't know. I feel like back in the day, they'd change the Greco rules like every year, but
Yeah.
I think I went 1-2 or 2-2, something like that. Obviously, they're big brackets and stuff, and
Yeah.
but it was kind of fun going to the team camp and seeing, like, run around with like Dirk St. John and Weathermans and those guys. Like, it's just kind of fun. So
That's when they had like the barracks, right? I don't know
yeah,
if
we
they
went
do
down to
that
Camp
really.
Dodge, and we had the training camp there at Camp Dodge. So
Camp Dodge.
which yeah,
Where was that at?
here in like Johnston, that's like where
Oh,
the
really?
Army National Guard. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. So I was just like, well, then oddly enough, years later, I would go drill there for units and drill weekends and Army Guard
No
stuff. So
kidding.
yeah, it's like, oh, these buildings look familiar.
Really? So you were going to drill there and you like, did you remember that that's
Oh
where
yeah,
you
it
were?
brought back. I remember
Yeah.
like walking from like the barracks where we stayed. I'm like, all right, we walked down here and got lunch. And I remember the like the gym and stuff where the mats were all laid out, and it wasn't air conditioned really much. I mean, it was super hot. We walk along a long,
Yeah.
wide open like drill field that they call it, and so yeah, I think don't don't test my memory too much, but that was a cadet
Yeah.
team. I want to say it was either Greco or freestyle team. They ended up winning Fargo that year.
No kidding. You were there with them. Wow.
Oh yeah, I was just. I mean, it was like I was. Yeah, I guess I was there. I don't know if I was actually on the
Yeah.
team scoring points. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was. But all the hammers were there though, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah. And you said Brian didn't go that year, or were you about to
He
say
didn't
he
go
didn't
that
go?
year. No,
He
no.
didn't. Okay. Because I remember, I think he told me the story. Like him and Steve went out, just the two of them out one year to like some
That
tournament.
was like a freestyle or Greco duels out in Colorado. I think Greeley. I think Dale took them out. They were on a team. That was a year or two prior to a couple years prior to that. I think back when Brian was like 215 pound days.
Gotcha.
I don't
Okay.
know if you know he had that big blonde afro look thing going on.
Yes.
I think Steve had
Yes.
his big like redheaded froze. I was like, oh geez, look at you guys.
Oh man, yeah. I guess I didn't realize that you went to Fargo. Dang.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah. Did you? Who gave you the ride down there? Did you go with like Mitchell? You said Mitchell. Did you guys drive down by yourself?
To like USA State or to Fargo.
Both. Like, yeah. Did you guys go down to USA State by yourself? And did you
I
go to the
know Chet
barracks
was
by
there,
yourself
and
in Fargo?
I think obviously my mom. So and
Yeah.
then my mom and Mitchell's parents and Chet Will were up to Fargo, and Chet coached us. So
Dang.
yeah, good times. I still remember me and Mitchell had a
Yeah.
picture like kind of up in the stands. You can see the Fargo Dome behind all the mats and stuff. We're standing there with their Iowa wrestling style gear on and whatnot.
Mhm.
So yeah, good times.
Yeah. And you just made it in Greco, not freestyle, or did you even try in
Just
freestyle?
Greco. Um, and then yeah, I think Taylor and Trevor came up for freestyle then. So they wrestled like
Okay.
Greco first, and then we were
Yeah.
pretty much done out of there by the time Taylor got up there, and I think my mom was ready to come home at that point. So
Yeah.
a week in
Probably. I mean,
Fargo.
I've
So
I've
yeah.
never been to Fargo. That's one thing I've never been to, and it's
Oh man, you got to go. It's awesome.
yeah.
And then I with my internship at USA Wrestling, I was gonna help set it all up and
Oh, what
help
was
run
that
things
like?
and
That had to
then tear
take
it all down.
forever. That had to
I
just
think we were
be
up there probably
crazy.
like at least 4 days beforehand, just setting up all the mats and clocks and tables and everything like that. So yeah, I think it was up there for like 16 or 17 days straight or something like that. It was just wild. It was fun though. I mean,
Dang.
I was just kind of like, all right, cool. Like I hang out. Like the hard part was just getting it all set up, obviously, and then
Right.
once the tournament gets going, it's just you just kind of, if a tape comes up off the mat, go retape it, or or just go help out
Yeah.
with if there's a issue with the scoreboard or anything like that. So, other than that, it was just kind
How,
of chill and let it run. And
how many people helped set it up? Like
oof, I can't remember off the top of my head.
if you
I
could
mean,
give a
there was
general
probably
idea, I'm thinking like
15, 20,
that's it.
probably.
Wow.
It might have been more, and I think a lot of the wrestlers, I probably didn't know, but it probably been like some NDSU wrestlers and stuff that were around, or
Oh, right,
more head
right.
wrestlers and stuff. So it just seemed like there was a lot of people there, and I was just some little interns. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
How did you even get that internship?
I want to say, I think it was one of my college coaches knew Pete Isaias somehow or another through the vines. You know how the wrestling community is, and they're like, oh yeah, like because I need to do my internship left. That was like the last thing before I like, officially graduated. Um, so yeah, they just phone call, email or two later, and next thing you know, I had Pete Isaias calling me or texting me and
Huh.
whatever, and we set it all up, and away I went. So, and then because the
Dang.
first day I didn't even go out to Colorado right away because it was, uh, yeah, because I moved down to Iowa City for a couple days, and then that's when the World Team Trials were going to be in Madison. But
Yeah.
he was just like, yeah, just meet us there, you know, blah 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 day, help set up that stuff. So that was like my first kind of very ever experience as an intern or whatever. So just show up and help tournament prep and all that stuff. And so did World Team Trials, came back to Iowa for a couple days, grabbed my stuff, and then just drove out to Colorado and started in the office like that following Monday or whatever. So yeah,
Doing
so
what?
it's those uh kind of having just kind of go through award stuff and a little bit of tournament prep in the beginning, and
Hmm.
kind of help out with registrations and um looks like what it was, passing out awards and certificates and just stuff like
Yeah.
that. um Had me kind of help with the design guy, just come up with the graphics and stuff like that
Oh, okay.
for Fargo and stuff like that. So nothing like too in detail, but just
Hmm.
enough to see what goes on behind the scenes and what
Yeah.
goes into these big tournaments and stuff. So
And what did you have to do that for your degree? That was the last part.
yeah,
Like, when did you get
it
your
was my
degree?
last like requirement to finally get my degree.
And what was the degree?
So it was like I think how they classified it was physical education with a sports management concentration and like recreation. So it was almost like a double major, but
Nice. Okay.
a lot of the classes double dip. So I'm like, I might as well just get a two majors instead of whatever. So
Yeah.
that's what it was. um, Never really used it. Never got into it after that,
I
which
was, I was
kind of
gonna say,
regret. But it is
why
what it
did you
is.
do that? Like,
What's that?
what was your plan for the degree? Or were
I
you
thought I
just
was
going to
going to try to
school
get into
because you were doing
like,
athletics?
yeah, just like maybe athletics, maybe like an athletic director, or
Yeah.
like a kind of YMCA sports clubs, stuff like that. But um, I don't know, just got out of college and was away from Beth for all those years and just moved down to Iowa City, Coralville area, and
Yeah.
just needed to start making a lot more money than what I would have done there. But
Yeah.
obviously, that's my passion. I kind of wish coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now I'm in midlife
Mhm.
crisis. I'm 35 now, but uh, maybe just kind of stuck it out and sucked it up, and who knows where it'd be right now. But
Yeah.
oh well, it is what it is. So
Yeah. So what do you do right now?
I'm an operations manager for a portable toilet company here in Des Moines. So obviously, we kind of
Mhm.
get it's kind of a growing, very growing business actually. We obviously have your standard porta potties. We
Yeah.
have the big vacuum trucks that go pump like septic tanks, and we do car wash, sludge and dirt and sand removal and stuff like that with them. And then also a big thing now, it's we've pretty much doubled in size. So I started there back in July of
Wow.
last year. Is restroom trailers out at, like, big construction sites, and
Mhm.
we have event trailers people use for like wedding weekends and big events and stuff like that. So kind of manage all that stuff, and uh, currently in the move from new building, and we just acquired another portable toilet company in the Des Moines area.
Dang.
So yeah, just a lot of things all happening at once. It's definitely
Yeah.
been busy, but it's good
Dang.
though. So,
How'd you get into that?
um, so a first sergeant that I worked with in the Army Guard a few
Hmm.
years back, he put a post out like, "Hey, I'm looking for an operations manager, or whatever." So I just texted him, "Hey, what's this about?" And
Hmm.
he kind of told me, and he's like, "Yeah, the job description's on Indeed, and take a look at it and let me know." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay." So I called him a couple days later, and just got a little more detail on it and everything like that, and applied and interviewed and got the job. So I think it's
Huh.
probably more of a what you know or who you know than what you know type of thing, because I
Sure.
didn't know anything about the industry, but
Right.
neither did he. So he retired full time Army, sat around for about 6 months to a year or whatever, and then he's like, I got to do something. So
Yeah.
and then so he was the operations manager for Des Moines, and then they moved him up to regional manager, operations manager, and then we basically closed down a Cedar Rapids location shortly after I started. So
Hmm.
definitely expanding.
Yeah. Shoot. And are you still in the guard and the
Yep.
reserves or anything?
So I did 6 years Army Guard, and then transferred over in May of 2024 to the Air Guard.
Air Guard, yes,
Yep.
yes. How was that? That had to be because I remember that was sort of the goal at one point was to just go direct into the Air Guard,
Yep.
but you kind of took the path
So
less followed.
try to make a long story short.
Yeah.
Back in 2015, I tried joining the Air Guard.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, I had a shoulder surgery, knee surgery back in college, which they're fine now, and did all the checks, did everything, even came back and saw specialists, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. Like you're not going like
Hmm.
infantry, you're doing it, Air Force." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then somewhere or another, somebody, way out Surgeon General or something like that, was like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to let him in because he's too injured." Like,
Yeah.
okay. It's after I've interviewed with multiple doctors and specialists and everybody else and written statements like, I'm fine. This was years ago, like a few years ago. I
Hmm.
literally, this is when I was delivering beer out of Cedar Rapids. So I'm like, I throw around like 100 kegs a day. Those things aren't light, and I
Yeah.
don't have any issues. So I don't know. I guess this wasn't meant to be. So obviously, Beth's been in the whole time, and I just like
Yeah.
the culture and everything. It's kind of reminds me of sports. It's kind of a big team effort and a lot of stuff like that, and the discipline. And so it was 2018. I was well, let's look into the Army Guard. And okay, so it's just if you do it, you're gonna go officer. I'm like, okay. Didn't know if that was possible or never. And we ran into somebody, a mutual friend of ours, that she's in the guard. She gave us a number for a good recruiter that she trusted. And then he's like, yeah, absolutely. And so joined us, came off the street, went to basic training, and then officer candidate school right after that, all down at Fort Benning, Georgia, fall of 2018 into spring of 2019. And then became a commissioned officer in our U.S. Army. So did that. Like I said, that was from 2018 and 2014. And then went on deployment over to Poland when I was the operations officer in charge of physical training and missions and stuff. And we were busy over there. Just some other things. I don't know if going, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of long term goal. Like, well, let's see.
Yeah.
If I really like the Army, I'll stay. And I was kind of indifferent kind of throughout the whole thing. I was, well, let's look into the Air Guard. So I looked
Yeah.
into, got a hold of a recruiter, and he's like, yeah, there's actually an opening that would kind of need somebody like you to come in. I was like, sweet. Because our Air Guard's like significantly smaller here in Iowa than it is in the Army.
Hmm.
It's just a lot of, especially you get into officer ranks, there's just not that many jobs and openings usually.
Hmm.
Um, but the unit I was going into, it was still the same like logistics and stuff what I did in the Army. Um, I had already known the commander just from being out. And since parents are actually, they're big Braves fans, so it's kind of fun. I just get to see them and talk about Braves.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's like, yeah, I want you. Come on over. And then just a little bit of a transition time between the Army let me go and then the Air Force being able to pick me up and sign me and stuff. So going on almost 2 years total in the Air Guard already. So
Jeez.
still kind of doing the
Why?
same thing, just logistics and yeah, it's good. It's a good change of pace, but
Yeah.
no, I'm not like the black sheep of the family. I'm in the Air Force now with the
Yeah.
rest of the NEO crew. Yeah.
Yeah, why did you decide to go in the first place? Like, when the air guard said no, that could have been the end of it. Been like, well, it's just not meant to be. Why did you pursue the army route then?
I don't know. I don't know if you ever played as a kid, like always, oh, I want to be army guys, like that. Like,
Yeah,
um, I think I always just had kind of a desire to serve. I just didn't realize it. But once was around seeing Beth and learn more about her dad's
yeah,
time in the service and her grandpa's time in the service and stuff like that. And like I said, just being around it and the team atmosphere and the culture and everything like that, I was like, okay, this is pretty damn cool. Like
mhm,
I'm like, I'll give the army a shot. If they say no, then it's probably meant to be for my life, whatever. And I'm like, no, come on in. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it just kind of opened the door, and it's like I said, if it was gonna be something I still really, really love, I'd stay in the army. If not, like possibly see if I had the opportunity to transfer. Figured maybe once I'm already in the service, it'd be a lot easier to transfer, and I think they've lightened up a little bit of regulations between like 2015 and 2024 or whatever.
yeah.
From the first time I actually tried to join, so. But I don't know. It was heartbreaking. I'll tell you that because I'm like, I'm in
Really?
great shape. Like I can go back. I would do like their PT tests in the gym after working all day and like a max them out. Like it was frustrating just because people like some person that just looked at my documents. Um, I mean, I gave him everything, all my pre-op, post-op. Every time I went and saw the orthopedic surgeon for my knee and my shoulder, and I even give him pictures of my shoulder surgery, knee surgery, and everything. And
Mhm.
it's just like, see, I'm fine, but they're like, nope. But yeah, that was just like I still had that desire and just that sense of pride. I just feel like it's something I can do. I'm a physically able person, and I was young yet. I mean, I still kind of am, I guess. But just like I said, just give it a try and see what happens. And I feel like it's something I really want to do and pay it forward to the ones that give me the opportunity to do it in the first place. From all the years past. So
Yeah. So this is maybe an ignorant question, but like I never understood what like the Air Guard is or like the Army National Guard versus like actually being in the Army or the Air Force. Like what is the Air Guard versus the Air Force?
So when you talk like National Guard, so there's
Yeah.
only Air Force, like Air National Guard and Army National Guard.
Okay.
So if you're active duty, you essentially have like one big boss, and that's the President of the United States.
Okay.
And then like all the Secretary of Defenses and stuff like that. Whereas in the National Guard, you can answer directions from like the Pentagon and the President or your state governor. So,
Okay.
like when there's major flooding or tornadoes or anything like that, any sort of, and the National Guard gets called up, that's by
Yeah.
order of the governor of your state. So,
Okay.
like I said, it's essentially you do stateside missions, and then you also can go on deployments and other places to train and do your job and stuff like that. So, whereas
Jeez.
active duty, it's a lot less like stateside type stuff. So,
Yeah.
and then a lot of Um, so the National Guard Force, they have a lot of full timers. Obviously, they need somebody there throughout the day or throughout the week. And then I just do the drill weekends. I'll go in every once in a while for like AT days and just some other extra stuff. And if there's exercises and things going on, I'll participate and go in for those. But um, yeah, a majority of them are just the weekend soldiers and airmen.
Gotcha. Is that
But like
just
I said,
once a month? Is
yeah,
that
yep,
once a month? Okay. And you can live wherever you want in Iowa, right? Like,
that's correct. Yeah.
can you live? What if you moved outside of Iowa?
That's actually possible. There's a kid in my unit. He lives out in Colorado, and he just comes back and drills
No
for the
kidding.
weekends. Yeah,
So if something happens in Iowa, would he have to come back and like if they called the National Guard, the Iowa National Guard or Air Guard, would he have to come back then? And
yep, yep. And if it was like something in his unit or whatever he needed to do, and his whatever their commander's decision, and things of that nature. So I guess that's kind of a way the National Guard works. So
is that rare?
yeah, it's rare. Not a lot of people live outside of the
Okay.
state. So
Okay. Okay. Interesting. I should probably know some of this stuff if I'm We're gonna
Honestly,
keep
a
your
lot of, I
horse.
mean, a lot of like just active duty people don't know anything about National
Really?
Guard or reserve, so
Hmm.
which is totally fine. I mean, we
Yeah.
we're able to do everything. So it's funny
Yeah.
enough when I was deployed over in Poland when the army when I was in the Army Guard, we were teamed up with a bunch of active duty units,
Hmm.
and we just made them look silly because they're like, "Oh, National Guard," like, haha. I'm
Right.
like we were the best almost operating unit over there.
Really?
Yeah, like I think so. Like our higher headquarters, they were just like, I think they were kind of like, okay, but then like it didn't take them long to see what we can do and what we did. They're
Hmm.
like, all right, they'll have a lot better than some of these active duty units over here, so that's awesome.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That you would get the side eye, like, National Guard, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, whatever, we'll just put our money where our mouth is. We'll show you.
Yeah. Huh. And how long? I forgot you went to Poland. How long were you there for? A year, right?
Just shy of 10 months.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, it felt like a
Oof.
year, but
I'm sure.
yeah.
And that was right around the time when wasn't that right around the time when Ukraine was getting invaded?
It was right afterwards.
Right. Did that have any impact on you? Like, did you have any thought of that? Like, oh my gosh, what the hell am I getting myself into?
I mean, I'm not gonna want to speak on a whole lot because I'm sure it's enough times passed. But yeah, um, we were busy over there, so let's just say that
Yeah.
we weren't. We never like crossed. We were never like nobody operated in or we were ever in Ukraine or anything like that. But
Yeah.
we covered a lot of ground too. I mean, we had missions all the way up and down from like Estonia all the way down to Bulgaria and stuff like that, and a lot of other stuff. So there's I don't know. Anybody can look it up. There's U.S. forces all across the globe, right?
Yeah.
Um, so then just they're going over their training, or so like a National Guard, you have a state partnership to what it's called with usually a different country. It could be I don't know how it's set up or whatever, but our state partner is Kosovo. So we'll go over there and train with them. They'll send people who come on to Iowa and train with us and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So I think it was just kind of part of like NATO and stuff like that. So it's just
Yeah.
a lot of exercises and training, just kind of joint forces and stuff together. So we did a lot of that too. So yeah, like I said, we were busy on a lot of
Yeah.
different fronts, but it was good because we were a transportation company. All soldiers got to get out and just see all sorts of different countries and
Sure.
countrysides and meet different people. And so I didn't get out a whole lot just because I didn't want to really leave my command
Sure.
center really,
Yeah.
but that's good. I got the soldiers out, so
Huh.
I loved it.
Cool. Well, yeah, I've never talked to you about this. Like, I kind of forgot that that this is your life, you know? Like,
Hmm.
you
Oh yeah.
know?
Yep.
So crazy. Um, it sounds a little bit like uh you kind of I don't think Brian does a whole lot with septics and stuff, does he? Because he works for the does he still work for the city?
No, he works for like basically like a co-op type
Really?
deal. Yeah, so he's sprays fertilizer and
No
spreads
kidding.
fertilizer and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. But he used to work for the county. He was a snowplow
The
guy
county,
and road
yeah.
repair and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know he okay, cool.
yeah. I think that was
Um,
just a couple years ago is when he switched jobs. So
yeah, yeah. Um, well, I know you said that you were kind of like around Beth and her family, and that's why you wanted to get into the air guard. Was that sort of how it happened with wrestling too, then? Like Craig did it, Brian did it, Andrew just is going to do it?
yeah, pretty much. I still remember. Um, I think I don't know why or how it got brought up, but I remember my mom taking me down to what was the place? I think it was down in Elkader or something like that for gymnastics, and I watched a practice or whatever.
Gymnastics. What were you doing down there for gymnastics?
She was like, I don't know if I expressed interest or she like was not really
Really?
forcing my hand, but just kind of giving me an option to choose or whatever. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'd probably like it, you know."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, they're both at the same time of year, so you probably have to choose one or the other."
Hmm.
I'm like, "Yeah, probably wrestling." She's like, "Okay." So, I mean, even while I was that young, I was probably like 4, maybe 5.
Hmm.
We weren't really, like, into wrestling a whole lot. Like, I think Craig might have went to, like, the Monona tournament, the Cater tournament, and Postal
Yeah.
tournament. Like, that was it. Like, it wasn't nothing like what it came to. It like I said, it didn't really start getting really busy with all the tournaments all over the state and the Midwest and stuff like that. So me and Brian basically got grade school, almost middle school, I think. So,
Yeah.
and
Did
obviously your dad and Al and Chet when he wasn't with the high school team and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of where it just obviously me and Cody, your brother, and Taylor and Brian and Pedretti all kind of the same age group and stuff like that. That was just kind of made it easy, and we all
yeah.
practice together. And all started with the practices back with Dale Eckert, and oh, man, it was some random. I guess I don't know random, but it was. I just remember it's a building like downtown Monona. It was just basically pulling on an alleyway. We went through a door, and there was a restroom room. There's Dale walking around. I'm like, all right, get your shoes on, let's
What?
go.
Where was this?
Oh man, this was years ago. I mean, this is probably like when I first kind of started. Because it was
I
like
don't
me,
think I
Craig.
remember this.
I think Mom dropped me, Craig, and Brian up there. Tim and Taylor were up there, and the Fist Boys. I think that was pretty much most of us. There might have been another like Jeremy Newhouse or
Yeah.
um, a couple other one-offs, but other than that, it was just the Fists, Rodas, Reichs, and maybe a couple other people. That was about it.
Where was this at? Some like
It was somewhere, some building in Monona that Dale had or whatever, and he just had a wrestling mat in there and turned it into a little wrestling room, and we go up there and practice almost every night or a few nights a week or whatever. So yeah. So I think we would
wow.
do that in addition to like the bullpup practices or whatever. And
Sure.
obviously, I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anybody. That's obviously me and Taylor were kind of a little more advanced than a lot of other people that we our age groups and stuff. So we're like, all right, we need
Sure.
to do a little bit more.
Hmm.
And even back in the day, me and him were pretty much the same size, so it was kind of perfect. We just get in a different setting and
Yeah.
one more
Wow.
specialized and
I didn't.
focused. Yeah, yeah,
Did
that was.
did Craig want to get more involved in it? Like, because you guys lived on a farm at that time, so did that play a role sometimes in like how much you could do and how much you couldn't do because of living on a farm?
Yeah, for the most part, my mom and dad actually they really support us
Yeah.
in doing sports and stuff. Yeah, there was always chores to be done and everything, but they would always try to bust their butt to get them done and get us the opportunity to go to wrestling practices and wrestling tournaments and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
uh, as far as Craig goes, I really don't know. I know now he says he, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, wanted to, but
Sure.
he was very quiet and just kind of kept to himself when we were
Hmm.
growing up. So I don't know if he was outspoken enough about the wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure if he was, my parents probably would have entertained it a little bit more. It's
Hmm.
hard to say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I know he got into high school and he loved it, you know,
Yeah.
and it's not he did in the middle school and everything, and um, which kind of sucks because I think he probably could have been the best one of all three of us. It
Really?
never really came to fruition. Yeah, he had the raw skills and everything like that. I don't think he had enough quite time on the mat, I guess. So
Hmm. Yeah, because when did he get started?
I mean, I think like fully into it probably wasn't until like middle school, where you
Okay.
just do the
Yeah.
middle school season and then
Right.
other tournaments and stuff like that. But never to the extent where me and Brian were going. We're traveling across the state, going to Michigan for a tournament, and Wisconsin, Minnesota. Just all
You
over the
guys went to
Midwest for
you guys
things.
went to Michigan?
Yeah, that was right after a freshman year of high school. No, right before. I was right around like the end of football time or something like that. It was some
Huh.
sort of like I can't remember some sort of national tournament or whatever. We drove all the
Serious.
way out to I want to say it was Lansing, Michigan. where it was. We drove all the way out there. We both won, so
Just you and Brian, or did like your dad and mom
no, it's
go?
just it was actually um Brian, myself, my mom, and Amber Breeze, Brian's
Really?
wife now. Like we all hopped in the expedition, drove from Farmersburg to Lansing, Michigan, and beat up on some kids, and then we came home.
How did you even find this tournament?
I don't know. I think my mom or Brian found it somehow or another, or maybe somebody
Dang.
said something about it. Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, all right, we'll go out to Michigan for a tournament, I guess, and really
Yeah.
see some new faces,
Right.
I guess. But yeah,
I like how Amber was involved and how she went. That's kind of funny.
yeah. Like I said, I think it was after my freshman year, like right before the season started.
Hmm.
Kind of like that little period before, or like right
Yeah.
after football, right before wrestling. So
Dang. And you said you went to Wisconsin. I mean, did you
yeah, a
go?
lot of youth tournaments in Wisconsin and a few up in Minnesota, and like I said, obviously everywhere in the state with
Yeah.
definitely your dad and Al Reich. So
But like
especially when
you,
Brian and Craig got into high school, it was just all right. We're 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 going this weekend, Al. All
yeah.
right, just drop Andrew off at this time, or drop him off Friday night. We'll
Yeah.
after school we'll go weigh in and wrestle Friday night, and either go back to Monona, depending on where the tournaments were, or crash an hotel and do Saturday. Go wrestle Saturday, and then go watch the high school team Saturday night for the finals. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty much every weekend.
Was Brian pretty vocal about wanting to go to these tournaments too, or a little more vocal than
Yeah,
Craig?
definitely a lot more than like Craig was, and I don't think. Again, I can't remember everything from years ago, but I don't think there was
Yeah.
a tournament that we ever turned down. So
Jeez. When did you start to become like in, not in love with the sport? Maybe you did eventually, but like when did you start to really start to take to the sport?
I'd say probably fifth, sixth grade, because Brian was 2 years older than me, and then I get to see him go wrestle down at AEU State and stuff down in Cedar Rapids, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, I want to do that. I want to do that,
Yeah.
because and the or you kind of started in Pee Wee State or whatever, where but everybody kind of qualifies. At least it
Yeah.
was back in the day. Did that obviously, and then I think the first year or two that I was like wrestled at AU State at their districts, I didn't make it, and it just then I'd see Brian go down and wrestle, and I'm sitting there in the stands just sulking, like
Hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still had fun and everything, but it's like okay, I want to do this, so
Yeah.
be down there and wrestling and not be in the stands the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um,
I'd say around that fifth grade time frame.
when was football though? Was football your first love?
I always thought it was, but as I got older, and especially like into college, I'm like, I still love football. I don't just know about it, but I also like just the wrestling aspect of it, where it's
Really?
just me and the other guy, and that's about it, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. I still like them both. It's just maybe
Hmm.
whatever mood I'm in or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever. Depending on how the Cowboys are doing, probably.
Yeah, oof, yeah, let's not talk about that.
Gosh, yeah. I guess I always thought football was like I always knew you really liked wrestling, but I always thought football was your favorite.
Yeah, I think back when I was in middle school and high school, it truly was. Um, I don't know. I haven't done either in quite a few years, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I said. I think once I got into college and I realized I was trying to do both, and I'm like, wow, I just probably should have just hung up the cleats and helmet after high school football and just kind of stuck to
Mhm.
wrestling. Just knowing the demand of both of the sports. So like you're training, lifting, working out year round, no matter if you're in season or not.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I just and I think the high school wrestling got to be kind of a grind, and
Yeah.
all the camps and everything we went to. So I was trying to balance camps and
Cutting
baseball
weight.
season and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Um, I'm curious. to see what you think of Ben Keeter trying to this, like through your lens, because you lived it. Um, you did both, and you did both for multiple years. Like, what's it like to do football and wrestling, and train for both, and like yeah, just kind of like just break it down because we're watching somebody do it right now, and people are wondering what, like how he's doing it and if he's okay and all the things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lived it, so I'm just curious. Like,
I think he's a lot more disciplined and motivated than I ever was. So that's the reason why he's a Division One program like the University of Iowa.
yeah,
um, but I, it was, I guess I just didn't know what I was getting into to begin with. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do both. And like, I don't know if anybody else says, but it's like even just I'd say probably any sport. I'm not gonna speak for any sport, but I can definitely tell for football and wrestling, like what that
right,
jump from high school to college, no matter what level it is, like it's a significant jump. And
yeah,
as Bergen knows was like, oh man, like you may have been one of the best in the state at your wrestling class or one of the best football players in your area or in the state, and you get up and you're playing with Division two, three, one, whatever class it is. I mean, it's all those people from different states and areas, and that's like, okay. So yeah, I think it's just it was, your football camp starting early August and football season bleeds into wrestling season. So the guys were already on the mat for almost a month or more by the time I actually got in the room after
jeez,
wrestling
really,
season or after football. And it's like, well, I probably could have tried to find some time and at least get some drills in and stuff. Like I was like, well, after wrestling or after football practice, so we'd have maybe like a morning lift, go to class all day, football practice, maybe a meeting or two at night, just depending on the day or whatever. I'm like, okay, where am I going to fit in a wrestling drill?
yeah.
So I don't know how like Heater and some of these athletes do it. So, or if you're, I mean, I would say if you're dual sport and any college athlete, like it's probably got to be hard no matter what it is. So, I
Yeah.
mean, just the level that you got to train at to stay competitive, and
How'd you
and
do it?
and then still balance academics and everything else on top of it.
Yeah. How'd you do it?
Well, I only did it for 2 years, and I gave up
Two
on it.
years is still 2 years. Like, I mean, shoot. And I think
Uh
you started battling injuries too at that point. Like, I mean, there was a lot going on there.
yeah. So
No.
obviously went in. I guess I'll kind of just take it from the beginning. Went to football freshman year, loved it, redshirted.
Yeah.
Kind of really got familiarized with that, that level of competition and stuff like that. So, um, and I, the wrestling coach was super cool about it. I was actually
That, was that
got some a
Nelson?
little bit of a scholarship for wrestling actually, but still let me like play football and miss a little bit of
Yeah.
time for during the wrestling season. And so, and I think that was right at the time that he basically snatched Brian out of the hallway when he heard that Brian was a state finalist heavyweight in the state of Iowa. And he's like, "You need to come wrestle." And Brian's like, "No, I'm in football." And he finally talked him into it. And so like that kind of how that kicked off with him
Hmm.
recruiting me and everything like that. So I give some credit for Brian to you know how I ended up there for sure. But yeah, just rolling into football and then did that time pretty much a week or two before Thanksgiving. Got a couple weeks of practice in, had Thanksgiving break that weekend, and then went home. Came back and just really started getting the grind of some open tournaments, and I ended up uh, filling in at 190. So you didn't really have a solid 97 partner or 7 pounder.
Yeah.
I was maybe I think I was probably like 195, 200, just kind of my football weight, and then
Yeah.
just a little bit of natural wrestling weight. Like it just kind of dropped and fell off a little bit. And,
Yeah.
it was me and one other kid. We kind of split duels, and then I ended up beating him in the wrestle off. So went to regionals freshman year of wrestling at 197 pounds. I think I weighed in at like 193 or something like that. Um, but then yeah, just did the rest of the season. It's like, all right. wrestling season's done, I was, regionals, nationals, and then yeah, because it was spring break, and right after spring break, it was spring ball. And
Oh my gosh.
go
So
right
when
back and go right back and throw the helmet and pads on, like maybe a week after I got done wrestling.
wow. I think the most impressive thing is like just how your body is able to handle that. Like going, you didn't take a break really from football to wrestling. And like football is immensely physical. I mean,
Yeah,
your body had to be just dinged up even going into the wrestling season.
yeah. I mean, I definitely wasn't as fresh as probably
Right.
would be ideal.
Yeah.
And I know Brian was the same way because he kind of did the same thing. He was
Yeah.
starting offensive line there for a couple years, so he was taking a lot of hits all the time, and he actually played in games, and whereas I redshirted, but still, I mean, we'd always go against the first team offense or whatever because I was
Yeah.
playing defense, and we're still making contact and practicing and lifting and everything like that throughout the week.
Yeah.
So, and then we'd always have it was like a Friday afternoon scrimmage or whatever. If you were a redshirting or whatever, we'd actually have like a legit scrimmage. Well, the starting team would just do like a walkthrough and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then I was like, okay, I did it again, and came back to Northeast Iowa for the summer, worked out, ran, lifted, stuff like that, just stayed in shape. Rolled right back into training camp for football that August, and rolled right into wrestling right after that again, and then it was that
Jeez.
year when that's when I hurt my shoulder. So I think it was probably right after the Christmas break time frame.
So it was wrestling. That's when you
Wrestling.
heard it?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I would say early mid January. Uh, we were wrestling. I think it was live goes or something like that. Uh, was getting that return, and I just kind of put my arm out, kind of brace it, came down on it, felt a little pop in my shoulder. I was like, okay, hurts a little bit, it'd be fine, and wrestle on. And then talked to my trainer, and she goes, iced it and did stem and stuff like that. It got better to a certain point. I was still practicing and stuff. I think it maybe took a couple days off,
Hmm.
but go run or whatever. And then I was just like, after a few weeks, I'm like, it's not getting any better. Like it's gotten
Yeah.
better, but it's almost to a
Right.
certain point where just I didn't have any strength, and it would hurt if had my arm extended, like on a shot or get weird positions. And
Yeah.
she's like, okay, like, but I ended up getting an MRI, and I had a tear in my rotator cuff and my labrum. So
Oof.
a couple weeks later, I had surgery, and that was the end of my season. So I was actually coming up on the anniversary. It was March 3rd, 2011 when I had my shoulder surgery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that the
So
first time you were actually like hurt, like not just a
yeah,
stinger? Like,
like ever. Yeah. All
dang.
through middle school, high school, I didn't have
Yeah.
any injuries like that. Not even like a pulled hamstring or a rolled ankle or anything like that. Just I don't know how I did it, but
What was that like? I like to ask, those questions, like, because an injury can be devastating, especially when you're trying to rehab. Like, rehab, what I've learned is freaking difficult, especially mentally. You think you're getting better or you think you're good, and then you're like, you're not.
yeah,
And then, like, your first time back when you're cleared, you're still like, you're like gun shy.
yeah. I definitely was. Um, I don't know. It was definitely weird. I'm like, I didn't like it because I'm in a huge sling. It was uncomfortable. Like the recovery wasn't too bad. I wasn't in like a whole lot of pain or whatever. It's just like my arms in a sling. I literally can't do anything. So it's walk around and go to class.
Yeah.
But the rehab wasn't too bad. I honestly probably didn't rehab as much as I should have or what I was supposed to do. I mean, it felt good, and I was still doing just the band exercise and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I think I was supposed to do that for 3 months or something like that. But school got out, and I'm like, I'm going home. I feel good. good, and that's when I started delivering beer during the summertime. So
Hmm.
I think that just kind of naturally strengthened back up and between that and slowly got back into weightlifting, especially like shoulder movements and stuff like that. So, but I felt pretty good going into that next season. And then that's when I think it was about that time, or like right before school got out. That's when I said I'm done, like with football, and talked to
Really?
the football coach. Yeah,
Why?
uh, it definitely wasn't because of the injury. It's just I wanted to. I feel like I needed to pick one or the other at that point, just
Hmm.
uh, to help myself and grow and uh, develop better as that whatever football player or wrestler. And at that point, I felt like wrestling was going to be the better choice. So
Yeah. Was that difficult? Like, how did you come to that conclusion? I'm just wondering because, like, people are trying to project that onto Ben Keeter right now, or whoever else is doing it. He's just the one that obviously comes to mind. So, like, how did you
right.
come to that decision on your own that, like, okay, this is what's best for me, rather than other people, everyone else going, Andrew, you should just wrestle, or Andrew, you should just play football.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it was. I didn't think about the injury or pinpoint it
Yeah.
to that whatsoever. I think it was just obviously year two of going through all of it and seeing everything. I'm like, I really think I'm just need to wrestle at this
Yeah.
point. It's just, uh, um, I think I probably have been happy playing football, but um, even now, like I think wrestling would have been harder. This is probably about the time frame where I'm like, okay, I think I like wrestling more than football.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, but it was still kind of a hard decision, obviously.
Sure.
So that's why I was just like, well, so I redshirted wrestling that year just because I came in late and hurt my shoulder or whatever. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I got still 3 more years of eligibility for wrestling. Let's put all my chips in that wrestling basket. So um
So you could
yeah, I guess I
redshirt.
mean I
You
didn't
can
say I didn't
redshirt.
really
Sorry,
what's
you
that?
can redshirt playing football and not like, and then you can also redshirt in wrestling.
Yeah, that's how it worked out. So yeah, I redshirted my first year in football, and then my
Mhm.
second year I was like I don't know, got basically third string ish or whatever.
Yeah.
So I suited up for every game and everything like that. Um, and then ended up redshirting my for wrestling that following year.
And was that like a regular red shirt or was that a medical red shirt? I'm
It was
just
just a
curious,
regular
like,
red shirt. Yeah,
so I guess what I'm asking basically is you get a red shirt per sport essentially?
I guess. Yeah, I
I
didn't really
guess.
think anything about it, but Coach
Okay.
Mello's redshirt. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really hardly wrestle at all this year,
Okay. I
so
didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know like if you burned your red shirt because you redshirted for football that like but no. Okay. All right. Anyway, sorry. I just found
I mean,
that.
hopefully I don't get him in trouble, but hopefully
No,
NCAA is there watching. But
yeah.
listen, anyway, no, I think it's good. Like everybody knew, the coaches know and wrestling coaches
Yeah.
knew, and that's obviously the athletic director had knowledge of everything that went on.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
no, I
Anyway.
think it was completely kosher, at least back then. So and I was like, well, I'm already going to be here for 5 years if I redshirt for football. Like it's kind of that 5 year plan, I guess, for athletes or
Yeah.
whatever. If you had redshirt, so yeah, it was just I'm like obviously talked to my parents and brother and everything like that. Just it's I think I would do a little bit better job and succeed more if I chose the wrestling route than I did the
Yeah.
football route. So um I'm still glad with what I did. Like it was great wrestling team, and I think I felt fit more in with those guys too. Like
Mhm.
um so that was that too. But yeah, other
Yeah.
than that, it was just like gotta pick one at this point. So and made life a little bit easier. But like I said, we were still lifting and working out and stuff like that during the off season, but it wasn't as intense, obviously. So
Yeah. So then as you kind of said that you look back, like obviously you're not regretting anything, but like, you put all your chips into the wrestling basket, but it still didn't seem like it quite worked out for you. You still kind of battled some injuries and think like, unfortunately it just seemed like it probably didn't really matter which way you went.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Like
for
how does
sure.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, like I said, I was obviously trying to like wrestle 97 to kind of keep up football weight, but
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't, going from 160 pounds to 197 the next year and jumping from two-way high school to Division II wrestling. It's like, oh man, like I'm wrestling some big dudes here.
Yeah.
So and obviously I think that definitely weighed a little bit. Um, so I think that my third year going in, I think I started off at 97 or whatever, and I think just because I was obviously I couldn't really work out all summer a whole lot, and
Yeah.
but then over Thanksgiving break or right before Thanksgiving break, so wrestled in a couple open tournaments. I was cleared to wrestle by that time when the season started, and then just kind of slowly made, the gradual cuts and weigh-ins to get to 84. So I finished that season, I think right after Christmas, right before Christmas, I made scratch 84, and then finished the season out at 84. And then the year after that, I'm like, okay, like I still feel a little bit undersized. Cut down to
Really?
74 in my like junior year, I guess, and then uh,
Dang.
finished back up at 84. And that was, I walked around about 205 during the off season. Yeah, that 70. That was like so. Once I got back in the 70s, I was like, "Ooh, it's been a couple years since I've been down here." So,
Yeah. Dang. And then when did the knee injury happen?
so that would have been 2012, right before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, same kind of deal. It's just like, well, I don't remember anything exactly, but it's just kind of like a little pop or click, and just kind of a little nuisance type
Yeah.
pain. It really wasn't like devastating by any means. So again, like we rehab and did what we could, and she's like, all right, well, we'll get you in for an MRI. And I had a
Yeah.
slight tear in my meniscus, so they cut that sucker out. It was, I want to say, December 11th or something like that, 2012.
Yeah.
Because I just knew that 'cause it was like 3 days before my birthday. I'm like, cool, this is awesome. I'm like, go to surgery, and then 3 days later it's my birthday, and then it's
Yeah.
Christmas break. Go
Yeah.
home, and see Beth and stuff, and see the family. And but yeah, that was pretty minuscule. Um,
Yeah.
I think I was probably second or third day I was home, like right after Christmas break. Maybe, I mean, it was like maybe less than a week later. I was jogging on a treadmill already, so
Really?
pretty quick, easy recovery. Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to it was just a wee little tear,
Yeah.
so they just kind of went in and clipped it out. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, other than that, I just came back and finished the year out from there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really get I guess, wheels under me until my senior year, and had a good off season leading into it. And I actually stayed up Marshall that year and was able to do a lot more mat time and everything like that with a couple of teammates that ended up being like national qualifiers or all Americans for us. So
Yeah.
I think that definitely helped too, and lift a little bit more and put some more strength, and a little bit of more weight on. It's maybe not really weight, but just some strength. So I'm
Right.
back up to 84 and a lot less of a cut, and still felt pretty good. And I remember the first time I wrestled my coach during practice, she's like, "Dang, you got a lot stronger." I'm like, "All right, thanks."
Was that Nelson at the time?
Jesse Nelson, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Evan Forty was our assistant coach.
Yeah. Um, and so your senior year, that's when, so like you were feeling good, and all of a sudden, that's when the meniscus
No, no,
happened.
that was junior,
Junior
sophomore,
year, okay,
junior year was a knee. Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. Senior year was completely healthy. Well, I had a little bit of a hamstring aggravation at the start of
yeah,
the senior campaign, but I was able to get through that. So I think once after Christmas break time frame was done with, that was not even a worry anymore. So
yeah. So that must have been a fun year.
yeah, it was. And then came down to wrestle off time right before regionals, and I lost it. So it was just
Oh wow,
didn't even get to wrestle at
really? I didn't
regionals that
know
year.
that. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. So
Dang,
yeah, that was
dang it.
kind of finally had a good year, and I just
Yeah,
Didn't even get to wrestle regionals, but it's nobody's fault but my own. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
blame anybody or anything besides myself. So,
Yeah.
um, good kid. He's good, tough kid. So, um, still made the trip with the team down to where was it? Freaking Oklahoma, Central Oklahoma, hosted
Yeah.
regionals that year.
How'd
So
he end up doing?
I think he ended up one round away from qualifying. I want to say
Yeah.
probably should have actually because there was kids in that bracket that we both beat throughout the year.
Yeah.
So and he was I think he was like a junior college All American at one point. I think
Okay.
qualifier. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
either way, it just
Yeah.
but didn't really finish on top or how I wanted to, but at least got the senior year turned around and
Sure.
rattled off
Yeah.
quite a few wins that year. So
Yeah. I know we're kind of working in reverse here, but like, um, when you finally got your taste of AAU success, did that sort of just fuel the fire of wrestling for you and like want you to want more, essentially?
yeah,
Because when did you
absolutely.
first make it? Because you said fourth grade you watched Brian go down there, and that's when you were like upset.
I
So I mean,
think
did you make it the next year at fifth grade?
no, I didn't. It was sixth grade. I think
Sixth grade?
I only qualified sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. Yeah, so I got sixth in sixth grade, sixth, and then fifth my eighth grade year. Yeah, I just going to AU state like that definitely fueled, and just getting to see that level of competition down there. A lot of people from other side of the state that we might not see throughout the year.
True.
And then,
Yeah.
um, they had like USA State. Went down to that tournament a few times.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously like we did like the preseason nationals at the Unidome and the nationals after the season. But it was like in April, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely like fifth, sixth grade, seventh, eighth grade. That time frame was when I'm like, okay, I want to go all these national tournaments and I want to win and stand on the
Yeah.
podium and stuff like that. So it was definitely for sure like a kind of a light bulb. Like, yeah, this is what I
Yeah.
want to do. I want to win. I want to beat these guys.
What about when you actually like place too? Like it's one thing to like go there, but then when you find yourself on the podium and you're looking around and you're seeing yourself among these other guys that you're, quote unquote chasing, like was that a pretty motivating moment too? Do you
Yeah,
recall?
I think
I mean, I know we were like in sixth grade or
I guess I mean like I
fifth.
don't know how to go back to my sixth grade self when I finally got that moment. Like, okay, I'm like, okay, like, all right, man, I'm here. Like, I
Mhm.
can do a kind of a confidence boost, like, and relief at the same time. Um, I kind of transitioned in the high school realm too. Like, I didn't qualify my freshman year to state, even though I sat and watched a few kids that I beat throughout the year that were placing, and maybe whether it was 2A or 3A or 1A or whatever the case may be. It's like so that, but then making it my sophomore year, it's like okay, cool. Like now I'm here. I'm wrestling with the big dogs now, and didn't get too far that year because I wrestled Jared Ramsey, and then what was his name from East Marshall, tough dude. Sorensen beat him in the second round. Andrew Sorensen. What's his name? Anyways,
The
he was
first
like,
one that comes to mind is like Ryan Valine, but I don't think he was there. It
no,
was
I
more
beat him my
like,
senior year.
yeah.
It wasn't East Marshall. There was
Was it
another.
Brooks Kopsa? Was he from East Marshall?
No, 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 no.
No, no.
But yeah, it was like Sorensen and him like second round, and they're both easily. It easily could have been like a finals match that year. I was like, oh, this sucks, but oh well, I made it. So then that definitely made the drive, and I think I really kind of made a different switch going into my junior year and ended up on
Was that
major
Brett
semi.
Rosedale?
Yeah, Brett Rosedale. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew it was. I knew you'd figure it out.
Dang. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Tough
Yeah,
job.
so it was good times.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you fall short your freshman year?
I think I ended up getting third at sectionals. I don't even know if I made it to districts actually.
Dang. Was that was like that pretty devastating? Like, cause was your goal to make it to state that year? Like, yeah, dude,
Oh yeah, obviously.
yeah,
So I don't know. I felt like I had a good year and everything like that. Just I don't remember who made it that year. So
I'm thinking like the one that comes to mind was like Levi Ledbetter, but I don't know if he was your weight or not that year. I don't know. He's the
I
guy
think I
that I
did
just
wrestle
think.
him a time or two, and yeah, it wouldn't have been him.
Okay, well,
I know that's when Bolts from Son of Fred. I think I
oh
wrestled him
right.
at sectionals, I think, and then I think he ended up. God, I
I
can't remember who the
forgot
other guy
about
was.
him. He was pretty good.
Yeah, it might have been like Nolan Hamill or Osage Kid on the other side,
Oh,
Gilson or something like that. So it would have been 145 my freshman year, so whatever that was. So it would have been
yeah.
sectionals districts of 2005. Yeah.
Dang, yeah, and then when was it difficult to also watch Brian not make it? Like, did that impact you or affect you at all? Like, watching him get so close and watching him have the years that he had and not punch his ticket. Like, did you feel that at all?
Yeah. I mean, I can go back and, we've talked about Craig and he kind of the same thing. Like he
His
had,
senior year, man, he was good.
yeah,
Like,
he had, God, what was that kid's name?
did he have
Independence
a
kid.
Roltz? Did he have a Roltz?
Yep. Ryan Rose,
Ryan Roltz?
Rose
Okay.
from New Hampton. Yep. And then, Independence kid. He had him beat, just had to ride him out for the next 20 seconds or whatever. And he did some
Yeah.
sort of roll or Peterson or something like that and put Craig on his back and ended up winning the match to go to state, basically. So yeah, I remember
Wow.
watching that. I was a seventh grader at the time.
Yeah.
Um, no, maybe eighth grade. So obviously I saw him fall short, and that just, his little brother. He's my bigger
Sure.
brother. One of my heroes, obviously. So
Right.
that was hard to watch, and try to give me some little motivation too. And then yeah, and then speaking of Brian, like whether he was at 215 or heavyweight every year is like was either state champ or runner up, or both those
Yeah.
guys were pretty much standing on the podium now at state. So yeah, Brian had quite the ringer in draws at sectionals and districts every year. So yeah, it was super cool just to see him punch his ticket finally his senior year with basically a surgically repaired knee at that point. So
Yeah.
'cause
Was
he,
it
he
cool? Was it cool to qualify with him? Like, how
yeah,
cool was
I think that made it even more special. So we always give each other shit. I'm like, well, I wrestled first down the state. He's like, bullshit. I was the first one to technically qualify because he was already done wrestling. And I had to wrestle in the wrestle back
Yeah.
for true second. So um, yeah, he just kind of jostled back and forth with that. So it's
Yeah.
good fun. So little
Yeah.
brotherly love poking at each other.
Yeah. Dude, that had to be pretty cool, because like, your freshman year, neither of you made it. And then like this was it. This was your last chance to make it together. And I don't know if you
Yep.
guys had that conversation a whole lot or anything, but you know,
We didn't really, I don't know, I guess communicate or talk like that, but I think we just
sure,
both mutually kind of knew it, like,
sure.
and just the emotions that I saw after he won. Maybe that gave me a little motivation to, you know, all right, I'm gonna wrestle back. I need to win one more match, and we're both gonna be walking down to the state tournament together. Like of all these years going down and watching it,
Sure.
to share that moment, and we're both together at the same time, warming up and running around all the mats down at Wells Fargo and everything like that. Like just everything that we dreamed of for years and years, going down there and watching the tournament. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool moment.
Yeah, for sure. And what's it like to wrestle in one of those wrestle backs? I don't think I've ever asked anyone this question, I mean, when you get to districts and you have to wrestle for true second, were you coming off a win or a loss? You
I was
remember?
coming off of a win, so I took second at sectionals my sophomore year. Lost to
Was that like a
drawing blank.
Hopkins? Was that like a
Yeah,
Hopkins?
Brady Hopkins, Independence.
Okay.
He beat me
Okay.
at sectionals pretty decently. Like, I mean, I think it was in the match. I think he took me down two or three times and ended up probably being like a 7-3 match or 7-2, but he
Yeah.
controlled me the whole time. So then I'd wrestle Dustin Balsley first round from Osage.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. And the plan was, and then I think it was Ledbetter from Cresco was the fourth. He came from the other sectional. So all right,
You wrestled Balsley first round? So
yeah,
Balsley, was he ranked
at
highly at that
districts.
time?
I think so.
Because I
Yeah,
feel like he was always, dang, okay.
top five, maybe top six. But yeah, I was like, okay. I went out and tried for a little while, like, and then I didn't really, not really give up, but I was just okay. I'm gonna save my energy. And
Sure, sure.
uh, griddled me up, pinned me, and he deserved it. Like I said, he was probably gonna beat me either way, so all the credit to him. And I'm like, okay, so I'm probably gonna get Ledbetter, and then I'll meet Hopkins in the true second match. But it turns out Ledbetter beat Hopkins. So I was like,
Oh.
okay, not how we had the cards. And even Chet was like, okay, we gotta adjust fire here a little bit.
Sure, sure.
It was like, and I think at one point I'm just like, son of a gun, like he beat the tar out of me kind of last week, but today's a new day or whatever, and Chet was talking me up and Al and your dad and everybody. So I was like, okay, like it's a different day, different tournament. Ended up beating Hopkins, and then I got a shot, and then Balsley beat Ledbetter, so I got a shot with Ledbetter in the Wrestlebacks for true second. So yeah, I think just coming off that,
Dang.
revenging that loss the week before to Hopkins, and I think I kind of rode that high going into the Ledbetter match, and
Yeah.
I think there's only two Wrestlebacks that whole districts. I think it was me and Cody, your brothers.
Cody had a wrestle back?
I think he did. Because it,
He
it
might
wouldn't have
have. He might
been.
have wrestled Manning or something. No.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I
Maybe.
I feel like it was
That's
Cody.
funny though.
Because I'm like, all
Huh.
right, Cody's gonna wrestle first, and I go next. I mean, that was the only two. Because I'm pretty sure they had the other mat rolled up when I went out to wrestle Ledbetter, just because it felt
Yeah.
like whatever side that was in the upper Iowa gym, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody was on top. And then I think I took a shot, and he cow catcher me or something to me right to my back, and I thought I was pinned.
Are you
Like
serious?
first 60 seconds of the match, I think 45. I was like, well, cool. Somehow got off my back and down 5-0. So I just slowly chipped away at him, and got on top, turned him, tilted him a couple times in the third, and ended up pinning him the third period.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it was yeah, coming down from 5-0, and I think the only points he scored after that was an escape or two after
Mm-hmm.
then cut him or whatever. So I just still
Wow.
remember Sliff go over in the corner, and he goes, Levi, he's getting tired. I'm like, no. I was just kind of like, no way, no.
Yeah.
I mean, like this point, like I think we were still tight. You might have had a 1 or 2 point lead in like the second
Mhm.
period or towards the end of the second period. I'm like, no, I'm good yet.
Dang. What a tournament, dude. Like,
Yeah,
seriously. I mean, you avenge a loss that you said, like, he controlled you. I mean, to turn it around like that at age like you were probably 16 at the time since your birthday's in December.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
mentality to be like, all right, yep, today's a new day. Let's flip the switch to beat him. Then to get tossed to your back, you're down by 5 again. You're like, ugh. And then to slowly
yeah.
chip away, like
And
the
I know
maturity
Balsley
there, you
was,
know?
like Russell Balsley. I think he was definitely a qualifier the year before, or was a placer, one or the other
Yeah,
for sure. And like I said, he was up in the rankings there, and I think he placed
sure.
pretty high there that year. Yeah, I think he got fifth or fourth or fifth or sixth, something like that year. And then I think Hopkins was maybe a state qualifier at one point, both
Yeah.
seniors. So yeah, it's just the balls of things. Like, okay, kind of put it past me for quite a bit. Focus on the next one. I'm like, all right, so just yeah, a lot of emotion, and obviously seeing
Yeah.
the eventual loss, and then seeing my brother qualify, and then
Yeah.
and right before watching Cody punch his ticket, and I'm like, all right, I'm the last one here. Like literally the last match of the day. I don't know how it happened at 152. So I don't know. I guess it is what it is. And there's no other wrestlebacks after that. They're true second
Yeah.
matches. So
Did Brian ever say anything to you about being the last match? Because he's been the last match how many times? And
I think he did give me shit.
yeah, I remember that
Oh,
was
and
the
then I
one
was like, well,
time.
because I think I came back. I'm like, well, at least people stayed around and watched me. Whereas the heavyweights, everybody was always gone.
That is true.
He
That's
didn't
funny.
think that was very funny.
uh, I just remember the thing that I remember about that was you were not one to show emotion. But after that match, like I don't, it was so subtle. It was like a little fist pump or something. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but like
Yeah.
that, I saw just a little bit of emotion from you, you know.
Hmm.
So that's just what I
Yeah.
remember.
I think that was probably one of the only times I actually did. Yeah, like I said, I think I just did one of these and that was it. And I don't.
Yeah,
It was almost kind of a blur, and just seeing this the sea of blue MFL fans up there cheering, and obviously Chet right there, and Al and your dad, and all those guys. Hey Hall. So it was kind of cool.
and Beth was cheering you on. You
So
know.
yeah, that's kind of how that all started. So I think it was Beth's dad was there. No, he wasn't there. She came. We had just kind of started talking a little bit or whatever, and
Yeah.
um, I think she came up to me. She said, "Yeah, my dad told me to tell you congratulations." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." When I'm like, when I thought Tony hated me, he always looked mad. I'd always meet him in the
Yeah.
wrestling room
Yeah.
because youth practice was right after high school practice, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "What's this guy's problem? He's just so mean all the time. Like, what would I do to him?
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm sucking weight." Like, but then yeah, that was kind of me and Beth talked a little bit more on the bus ride home, and right after state, we basically kind of started dating, and we were 19 years later. So I guess you can kind of
19?
start say
Did
it
you
was
say
kind of a
19 years?
yeah.
Oh
See,
my
that was 2007.
gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm old.
So yeah, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
old.
literally over 19 years ago when we really kind of started talking. Obviously, it was state, so we didn't really get
Yeah.
too in depth and talking. Like obviously, we kind of like obviously had shown each other that we liked each other and stuff. But I'm like, all right, I
Yeah.
got to focus on state here, and
Yeah.
we both understood that. But then I got beat out right away. Like I said, it was 0-2 barbecue, so I'm like, all right, at least if there's a cute girl I'm going to go hang out with the rest of the weekend. So
Yeah.
and then watch my brother. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's like I said, that was kind of 19 years later, and we're still together and three kids. So you can kind of say it was
Wow.
a good family moment. Brian and I qualifying for the first time in state, a good accomplishment for me, and start of a 19-year relationship in life
Right.
with my
Yeah.
now current wife. Like it's pretty cool, I
Dang.
guess. So
Dang. Were
it
you
all ties
sucking?
together somehow, right?
Yeah. Were you sucking a lot of weight that year? Did you ever suck a lot of weight?
In high school, yeah, it was
Really? Why?
Chet.
Okay. Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
No,
Because
I
I'm
mean,
thinking like who's around your weight? I'm like, geez, okay, when you went 52, you probably could easily went 60.
so that was the plan my sophomore year. Actually, I was like dead set on going 160 right
Sure.
before literally the morning of our first meet with Valley and Clayton Ridge. Chet pulls me in the office. How much you weigh? I'm like, I don't know, like 163 or 64, Lose a few pounds from practice and, float something, we had, the whole 24 hours before we weighed in. And
Sure.
he goes, that look you always give, like you said,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And then hey hell, just somehow or another. I think we had like early, like a 1 or 2 hour early out that day for some reason. That Wednesday before, he goes, "You can make 52." I'm like, "No chance." He goes, "Yep." And they just talked me, and I'm like, "Okay." So we still didn't have practice. I think they had like teacher in service and stuff, something like
Yeah.
that. So we still didn't have practice till like 3:30, like normal time. And he's like, "Well, give it a good try or whatever." I'm like, "All right." So here we go. Go throw on a bunch of sweats and went to the weight room and ran on the treadmill for quite a while. Got off it. I'm like, okay, well, that's, 3, 4, or 5 pounds or whatever it was. I took a shower, just kind of refresh a little bit and
Yeah.
relax for, I don't know, half an hour ish. Got practice clothes on, went up practice, lost another few pounds or whatever. And then I think I ended up running after practice too, another while.
Dang.
I think I ended up getting down to, I think it was like 154 when I left school that night.
So you lost 9 pounds,
Basically, from like
roughly.
1 in the afternoon to about 7 that night or whatever. I didn't think I could, but I was just like, I was not feeling good.
Yeah.
So that was like 154, 155. I'm like, all right, cool.
Okay. But did you certify at 152?
Yeah, I was certified. That's why Chad told me, he's like,
Oh,
you can make it. Like, you can legally make it. So,
right, right.
okay. I didn't really want to because, I mean, even to get to 52, it was probably a good 15 pounds. I mean, I was walked around like low 170s about that time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, all right. Like, I remember coming to school the next day. I don't think I ended up having to run in the morning. I'm like, all right, I'm like, got pretty close and I just kind of floated the rest of the day. And
Yeah.
my eyes are all sunk in the back of my head. Everybody, all the teachers, like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good. I'm a little tired. A little tired, a little hungry, a little thirsty, but other
Yeah.
than that.
Did
So
it
yeah,
get better as the year went
I
on?
ended up, what's that?
Did it get better as the year went on, or was it still like a
Yeah,
struggle
no,
to
it was
start?
just because of that last, like I said, I'd
Yeah.
already dropped 12-ish pounds before that, and then another 10
Gosh.
on it the last 8 hours or whatever. So yeah, I just made that weight. So I made 52 that night. Wrestled like dog shit.
Of
If you go
course.
back, if you go back on the record books, we wrestled Clayton Ridge that night. Everybody had either a forfeit or a pin, except for me. Yeah. So yeah, you
Do you remember
go.
how you did?
It was 80. The final team score was 83-0. 84-0 was a perfect score, and I got a tech fall instead of a pin. So sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Wow.
Yeah. So everybody else got max points for their match. Like I said, whether it's a pin or a forfeit,
Yeah.
they all got 6 points, and I scored 5. The tech fall.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, geez, Andrew, way to mess that one up. Like, guys, I almost died. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then obviously, and then we had Friday for practice, so I was still kind of recovering. That wrestle, I think, a
Yeah.
Valley tournament on Saturday. Made weight. I mean, it was pretty. Wasn't too hard to make weight then, and because I just kind of didn't really get too big after weigh-ins and stuff on
Yeah.
Thursday night, so was beating a kid. Gosh, I think I was on the verge of tech falling. Wanted to go turn him one more time and just got too high. He flipped me over and pinned me in the final. So
Oh,
yeah, but yeah. After that, like it just the maintaining the weight was a lot better,
yeah.
a bit easier. It's just not that last minute, you know, 8, 9, 10 pound cut in the last
Jeez.
12 hours or whatever it was. So yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. And obviously Christmas
Yeah.
break got 2 pound loss after
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah. What about like the next following couple years? Like, was that kind of the one time where you cut weight and you were like, all right, I'm not doing that again? Because I've heard a lot of stories
no, I
about
still did it.
that.
Yeah, still did it. Yeah,
Why? Why?
I don't know. Just I don't know. I think looking at sectional districts and how we fit with the team and everything like
Yeah.
that. So, and in real looking back, I think 52 probably was those 2 years was probably good, and then 160. I think it's kind of put on a little bit more muscle and
Sure.
this and that because I was walking about between 180 and 185 for like football season and
Gosh.
going into my senior year. So
That seems
and
like
by
a
that
lot
time
of
I knew
weight,
how to knew
you
yeah
know?
I knew how to manage it a little bit better, and I got on a routine like every Sunday after tournament I would go run in the halls every Sunday.
Really?
It was just got in the habit. I kept that kind of same habit in college too. I
Yeah.
go go put a bunch of sweats on after Saturday tournament and just go for a long run. And it wasn't so bad in college because they had the fitness center and then it was football
Yeah,
season,
right.
so they had football going on TVs. And I just sit there and just jog along,
Yeah.
just sit there and watch football. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I've been running for 45 minutes already. It doesn't seem like that. And I was never a runner either, so I
No,
never liked
right.
running at all. So
Gosh. I mean, 20 pounds, 20, 25 pounds, like, I mean, it's not like you had a lot of body fat either, if I remember correctly, you know? I mean,
I mean, I
so
didn't
for
think I
you to
did. So
cut
yeah,
that much, for you
I
to
don't know
cut
where it
that
all
much
came
weight, I'm
from.
like, geez, dude. Uh, um, your junior year. So after you make it to state your sophomore, you get like a taste of you know being at the state tournament. You go 0-2. What was that like your junior year to like actually find yourself on the podium, especially winning
Uh,
like a blood round match? You know, like that. You made wait, did you make the semis that year?
yep. Yeah. So I think just having the experience down there, and then kind of
Yeah,
obviously the whole cliche taking one match at a time type of thing. So I was trying to look too much ahead in the bracket, and
yeah,
um, so then I won districts that year, so I think that helped with kind of the
sure,
seedings a little bit better instead of sneaking in on a on a second place finish in districts. Um, so yeah, I think just kind of that approach, one match at a time, and um, so one first round, one second round, and then I wrestled Trent Weatherman in the semifinals. So
huh? Yeah, okay.
yeah,
What was your mindset
yeah,
though going into that match? I mean, like I know we kind of laugh and joke about it, like it's Trent Weatherman, but like, I mean, was there still a point where you were going into that match like, okay, I think I can do this? Like, were you talking to yourself, telling yourself that you could get it done, no matter how it
yeah,
looked? You just didn't know, like it didn't know how.
yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm like. Like I said, all the years of watching all the matches and tournaments and stuff down there at state, like I've seen crazy things happen. So
Sure,
I was on paper and everything else. They're like, oh, Rodas is a huge underdog. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out and wrestle as best I can and see what happens. And I think
sure,
it kind of knowing that I already secured at least a sixth place medal getting to the semis, I think it took a lot of pressure off. So I'm like, I'm just going out there and let it fly and see what happens.
yeah,
I think I had a decent kind of first period, and I remember I shut because we were like, I think it was Al was like he kind of leads his left foot quite a bit, so he just low single that. I'm like, okay. I swore I got in there and I almost had it finished. The next thing you know, I'm like
yeah,
counting the stars at Wells Fargo. I was like, well, that was cool while it lasted, I guess. So,
yeah,
but then I was just all right. That's done and over with. Let's regroup and try to come back and get third. So
yeah. Did you do a lot of? Did you get nervous before your matches at all? I don't know if I've ever asked you that.
yeah, probably more than I actually should have, and I don't know why. I even in college, I'm just get a little nervous. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I I, I am I'm a person that always kind of holds the high expectations and a lot of standards and stuff for myself. So I think I always kind of put a lot of pressure on myself. So
yeah.
just because I am competitive and I want to win everything and every match and everything like that. So yeah, it's definitely kind of self inflicted in terms. So
Yeah, because I never like you're very stoic, so like you would never know like he's nervous or what like you just never looked like you were intimidated or anything like that. So, to hear you kind of say that just kind of, I don't know, humanizes you a little bit. Like whenever I would look at you, I'd be like, man, I don't know. First off, Andrew Rodas just seems like a tough freaking name.
yeah,
But then you also
whatever.
had like Alvin and Craig and Brian and like you all look tough. And so it just didn't look like anything phased you, you know?
No, like I said, I mean I would get nervous for football games too when I was back in
Really?
high school. So yeah, I mean a little bit. I think it was more like I think it wasn't like a super nervous, where excessively sweating or like panting or anything. There's just I think it was like more of an exciting nervous, because
Sure.
I want to get out and compete, and and I want to win. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, didn't you do the sophomore or the semi slide that year? Your
no,
junior
so
year?
I lost on the backside, and then ended up taking fifth. My
Oh, I took
junior year.
fifth, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep,
Um,
yeah. So
Still though, I
I didn't
mean,
do that.
yeah. Well, I mean, still to secure fifth, I mean, well, like, did that only set your goals even higher? Like, were you even thinking like even your junior year that you were gonna like a state champ? Like that was my goal.
I obviously it was kind of always my goal,
Right.
no matter what. Um, but like I said, the bracket and some of the kids down there, and like possibility of running to Weatherman before the finals or whatever. And
Yeah.
um, but I'm like, okay, like an actual attainable goal, like let's get on the podium first and then go
Sure.
from there.
Yeah.
So freshman year didn't qualify. Last year went O2 barbecue. Hey, let's win some consecutive matches and get on the podium. So I think that was kind of the mindset, and I think that definitely helped in my wrestling and performance down there for that
Yeah.
tournament.
And then what was it like your senior year? I mean, did you just feel like a man on a mission?
Yeah,
Or were you still nervous?
I was still nervous. I still was. I'm
Dang.
not gonna lie. I mean,
Yeah.
just I had one loss all year. It was to uh Wisconsin kid.
Oh, really? Was it like an Iowa Grant
Not
kid?
Savage, I think so. He ended up wrestling at Wisconsin. Started the last name started with an S or whatever. Yeah,
Hmm.
he beat me in the Monona tournament. So the only loss I had all year was in my home gym. So that was great, my senior year.
Yeah, right. Oof.
Um, yeah, other than that, I was like, all right. Had a couple tough matches in sectionals and districts, got through them. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm at state tournament. It's my year. Like I'm ready to
Right.
go. And I think I want to say it was preseason rank one for some reason at 160, even though I placed fifth at 152 the year before.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was over at Beth's parents' house and they looked up the rankings or whatever, and I was over there before I got there, and I think her grandparents were in town too, and her grandpa was like, "Hey, Andrew, congratulations on the preseason." I'm like, "Oh, what?" Like I was kind of like, "Seriously?"
Yeah.
So, and I can't remember. I might have fell between one and two or whatever, but
Right.
um, yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is the year. This is my year. Let's do it. So got the semis again, and just I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's kind of a blur at this moment. And it was at the time, and thought I'd wrestle a decent match, and I didn't, and just didn't execute when I could have. And uh, yeah, Ethan Mormon got me back because I beat him first round the year before.
Hmm.
So, and then he ended up winning it, and I came back and took third. So,
What was that like to try to come back and get third after that loss?
in memory, I still have. It's just I remember getting the scorecard and just like looking and replaying everything, watching video. Just he was. I don't. I mean, I don't think there wasn't any controversial calls, or there could have been
Right.
two here, one there, or whatever. I think it was just kind of we both sat there, like in the warm up area. Everybody else get warmed up. We just kind of sat there quietly and just. I don't know if we said a whole lot to each other. Um, I think it was just kind of like, well, sat and dwelled on it for a while. I'm like, well, you got another match coming up, so let's get going, And I think I probably shed a few tears, and I still remember Chet's face, and it just, I don't know, just losing that match and not getting the finals and having the possibility to win it all. It drives me nuts to this day. So
Really?
it, yeah, like I said, I can still I remember just me and Chet just sitting there, just quietly, didn't even say anything. Everybody else is chaos all around us, and
Right.
I don't know, it's kind of like one of those movie type things where everything just seems to be spinning and whatnot, and
Right.
we were just kind of. But then we both just kind of looked at each other. And, well, let's come back and do the best we can. So
Is that pretty? Is that a pretty proud moment that you have of like having that, looking at that third place medal, knowing that your dream got crushed, and yet you were still able to come back and not only get third, but you beat a guy who was tough. That Charles City kid, I forget his name, but like you wrestled him
Jesse
multiple
Johnson,
times.
I beat him at districts.
Ah, he was tough,
Yeah,
and so
because I
like
think he was a state qualifier or placer the year before at 160, and I come up from 152. So
yeah, and he
yeah,
probably was
he was
able to avenge
definitely
that
tough. Yeah,
loss. I mean, it
yeah.
just
So I came back and wrestled Brian Vleen on the backside. So I
yeah
wrestled him earlier in the year at the West Marshall duels or whatever it was, dual tournament.
yeah
I think I measured him there, and then so the state, and he came out, and it was kind of a closer match, and I ended up tilting him a couple times. I think I ended up majoring him again. So then I had Jesse Johnson, which was rematch from the districts finals for third place, and something goofy happened again. I think he put me on my back or whatever, and I was down to start the match right away. So like 3 or 4 or 5 points, something like that. I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I came back and clawed away at it, and I ended up coming back and winning. I had 9-7 sticks in my head. I don't know if that was the
yeah
district's final match or score or the state tournament, but either way, I mean, I came back and kind of beat him in that third place
yeah.
match. So um, that might have been like the second time I ever just kind of did a little
I
hand
think I
raise.
remember
I
that
just
too
kind of,
because
I
I
just
was
kind of like to acknowledge the crowd, like thanks, like that was my last match as a bulldog, and
right.
I got a lot of support from everybody in the community and stuff. So just kind of give a little wave of appreciation, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just like kind of just hearing you talk about that. I'm like, man, that had to be a very difficult thing to do. But like again, looking back on it, like how you were able to do that had to be pretty, had to just make yourself pretty proud. And I think it obviously made the community proud. But just like yourself, no, you didn't get your ultimate goal, but at the end of the day, you battled through adversity and you showed kind of who the true Andrew Rodas is.
Yeah, like I said, I'm super competitive. I want to win everything. So
Yeah,
I like I said, I walk around not on a daily basis, but on a daily basis now. Like state wrestling just got over with, and
sure.
it always gets my emotions peaked in good ways, bad ways, in different ways, whatever. But it would have been a lot worse if I just threw in the towel and took six or whatever. Like that was no
Sure.
way. That was not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I went and tried my hardest and I knew it was going to be my best matches from here on out, and I still got six, yeah. But like I said, I wasn't just going to throw in the towel just because I wasn't going to get first.
Yeah. And was it also pretty sweet that you ended up sharing that that tournament basically, with like Taylor, like you
Yeah,
guys grew up together, you got and he kind of fell short. He kind of got off the tracks a little bit those 2 years, sophomore and junior, but then he came back and got a medal again and you got a medal and like you guys went out, you know,
yeah,
with hardware.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I guess as much time like during wrestling season, I spent more time than with Taylor than I did my own brothers. So obviously, it's like I say like Al and Mike were my own like their fathers to me. Just because of the amount of time
Yeah.
I spent in the band and wrestling tournaments and stuff with them growing up, and Taylor, Sam, and Cody, and you were around there too. So yeah, it just obviously we both kind of fell short of our goals and aspirations that year, but we still came back with the medal. And because when he qualified as a freshman, obviously I didn't qualify, so it was kind of the
Yeah.
first year of all 4 years that we got to share the same stage together, I guess. So
Yeah.
it was definitely cool. Something I'll never forget. And obviously, Taylor's coaching at Decorah and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
that's pretty dang cool. He sent me like that's when you asked me about coaching earlier. He sent me all this stuff, and like, okay, I'm kind of following Decorah now. Like I got a vested interest. Like that's my best friend, and
Yeah.
so just that's I'm like, all right, I want to get back into it. But on the same hand, like I have 3 girls that are young. They start their own stuff. Like I know what the wrestling year meets 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
a week at nights, and then Saturdays, it's an all-day thing, you know? So, that's why I'm like, "Okay, maybe I can do stuff in the summertime or a volunteer basis or, freestyle or whatever."
Yeah.
Um, to see how that goes, and, I just actually saw a post last night on the school's webpage or whatever. So I don't Bonnarant doesn't actually have, or they haven't had their own girls wrestling program. It's a head girls wrestling coach. I'm like, I showed it to Beth. I was like, oh, that's me. Like, it's 3 daughters, so here we go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I never, because I always thought about Chet, like of all the things of his girls that he missed because he was
Sure.
coaching other kids. I don't know if you've had a conversation with him about it, but I haven't. Maybe someday I'd talk to him about it, but
Sure.
just see how he
Yeah.
feels. Like I wanna try to be there as a parent to be with my kids. If they're on the wrestling team and I'm a coach, cool, like, that makes it easy, but,
Mhm.
and don't get me wrong, I love coaching other kids and, seeing them develop and things like that, but I also
It's definitely sacrifice.
yeah, you gotta I mean,
100%.
like I said, I know Chet sacrificed a lot for his whole family, and
Especially if you wanna be
really
good,
did.
I've talked to quite a few coaches, like, if you wanna be a top flight program, like, it's yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean, I don't
like, the
fault
whole
Chet, like,
family has to be invested, like, your whole family has to be
yeah,
invested into it, you know?
absolutely, and that's kind of the thing with, like, you can probably say with a lot of sports, especially like football, big time programs are, a lot of time
Yeah.
away from
Sure.
family, studying film and practices and all that stuff. And um it kind of ties to the military too. Like obviously I was gone, I go for trainings and stuff, miss a lot of family time and this and that. And the wife and the mom is at home, cooking, cleaning, taking care of all the babies and stuff while I'm off coaching or training or whatever the case may be. So
Yeah.
getting to do something that I want to do and love while, just like I said, the wife or mom or Beth was back here raising the kids, so
Yeah.
or taking them to their activities and things like that. But I mean, kudos to families and people that do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think me and Beth we definitely do it, but um, I want to give myself an opportunity to be there for my kids first, and
Sure. Yeah.
and support them and whatever they do. It just I'm not going to force wrestling on them. So I just want to do what they want to do, and hopefully they're successful, and just support them the best I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever hate wrestling? Like, did you ever go through a period, whether it was when you were cutting weight or when you didn't make it to state or when you got out of wrestling and like you just kind of never really fully achieved your goals that you were like, man, why do I even like this sport? Why do I do this to myself?
I think I think the roughest stretch for me was probably like 7th grade year.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say like I wanted to quit or anything, but it's just I think I had a pretty good like 6th grade year, and then I was like I said, it was my first year getting down at AU State, and um I was wrestling probably around 125 ish, 130 as a 7th grader, and kind of a tough weight class, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wasn't having the success as I usually would, and it was a lot harder. Like, and there was just kind of obviously that time frame for boys. Some are maturing a little bit faster than others, and then things like that. Like, I'm not making excuses, but it just there was times I'm like, man, like this is terrible. Like I suck. I don't want to.
Sure.
But I mean, I kept doing it, but it just wasn't as enthused, I guess. And
Yeah.
then um, ended up making it to state and placing again, and then come 8th grade year and kind of rattled off. I think I went how many matches without losing or whatever. In middle school season
Yeah.
undefeated or
Right.
whatever, and then a bunch of other local tournaments and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like I'm back. I'm feeling a whole lot better. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
So what do you think? We just talked for an hour and 50 minutes about like wrestling and your journey and the ups and downs and the wins and the losses, the injuries and you know the successes, but like what emotions, like what do you think? Like was it good memories? Is it kind of bad memories, like, do you hold on to that semifinal loss against Ethan Mormon? I mean, or are you just like, man, you know what? I did the best I could. I'm proud of what I accomplished, and that's that, you know?
I think it's a mixture of both, to be honest. Uh, I mean, we can probably go on for another 3 hours and just talk about memories of wrestling throughout the days and whatever. That's just uh, definitely something I always cherish and appreciate. Um, but again, like fell short of goals and dreams and stuff like that. So that still kind of a chip on my shoulder, but I don't like let it bother me or affect me anyways. I think I'm still a competitive person. I
Hmm.
mean, if my 5-year-old beats me in Candyland, I get upset. Like not to the point where I'm like, but I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like that's just how much I want to win. It's just my drive and everything. And but yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I think it's kind of a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Um, I think more this time frame obviously kind of brings up the state memories and the falling short of the goal and of winning a title and all that stuff. But other than that, if I get together with Justin or Josh or like went and watched nationals with you and Cody that year and Taylor came down and talking to your dad and just sparking all the memories and talking about all the stories and stuff like
Mhm.
just that is something I'll never take for granted.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Special thanks to my guest, Andrew Rodas, for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. Cover art created and designed by Kristen Gill. Please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. You can also check me out on YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page to hear more of my content. And don't forget to check out my website at letstalkwrestlingpodcast.my.canva.site. And as always, be sure to tune in to hear the next guest of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. Take care. See you next time.